Hello everyone, my name is Speed Racer, and this will be my first draft video. We're into the last couple of weeks of Zendikar Rising, and since I'm in quarantine and bored out of my mind, I thought I'd make some videos. This will be the start of a series where I create a new account and run it up to Mythic as quickly and as cheaply as I can. I'll track each deck I play, our win rate, and all kinds of cool stuff. I'm also going to show every single draft I play, so everyone can see the good decks, the bad decks, and the terrible decks that you sometimes end up with. This is the first video, so I just used the welcome bonus to add 2,500 gems to my account for $4.99 plus tax. Let's get going. Hello everybody, we are drafting Zendikar Rising. We have pack 1, Clearwater Pathway, pretty boring, basically a multicolored land, not first picking that. A couple of nice blue cards here. Sure-footed Infiltrator is nice, can draw cards. Best in the black-blue Rogues deck, of course, where you have lots of Rogues to enable him. Skyclave Plunder is a nice draw spell if you have some party members going on. Even if you don't, you still get to draw 3 cards with it without looking at additional cards, which I guess is good enough. Spoils of Adventure is probably a better draw spell, but it is gold. There's no really good commons here except for maybe Rabid Bite. I think it's either the Infiltrator or the Plunder. I haven't played the Infiltrator in a long time. And, no, let's take the Plunder. It just goes in any blue deck as opposed to the Infiltrator, but it's definitely not exciting. Okay, and then we have an Archon of Emeria. I'm not a fan of this card. It hurts you just as much as your opponent, I find. You can only do one thing at a time on each turn. It's annoying when this gets played against you, I have to admit, but I have a feeling the opponent is just as annoyed as I am. We could follow it up with our first blue card with maybe an Expedition Diviner, but it isn't very good. It's good, but it's not something we want to pick second. Maybe Vastwood Fortification is better. The Demon's Disciple is not particularly great. Just forcing your opponent to sacrifice something is usually not the best. We could take the Fortification. It's probably better than the Diviner. Yeah. If we take the Diviner, though, it does go with our first pick a little better. Diviner or Fortification, they're both fairly medium. Let's just go with the blue card. We picked the blue card, that was okay. Second pick a blue card, that's okay. Now we can follow it up with a blue card that's very good. It's a wizard. It can search up cards with kicker, which we don't have any yet, but we could definitely prioritize them the rest of the draft. It's best in blue-green where you have tons of card of kicker, but even if you end up blue-black, it's good. Blue-red, it's fine. Wizard. So it's just an overall good card. I'm happy to see it's still in the pack here. Again, the rest of these cards are pretty weak. These packs are a little dry if you ask me, but we'll take the Diviner. Or sorry, the Chronicler. Okay, the Shadowcat is very good in the counters deck, black-green. We're not going to end up black-green based on our early picks here. The Royal Mage is awesome in any blue deck. It has kicker, which we like. With the Chronicler, it's a wizard, which we like. With this, what we've got going on here. Nice pickup for us. Rabid Bite is a nice removal spell. It's probably the second best card here for us, next to the Royal Mage. I mean, we certainly wouldn't play Shell Shield. We're far away from black-green. Maybe we end up blue-green and we like Rabid Bite, but we don't have to commit to green yet. Let's just take the Royal Mage. Okay, so some good green cards here. There's a Gnarlid Colony and there's an Arbor Mage, both in green with kicker. I'm honestly not sure what's better. I really like the Gnarlid Colony, but I guess this is a win condition, right? It's a wizard, we like that too. It has kicker, we like that too. I guess it's got to be the Arbor Mage, but if we end up blue-green, I really wouldn't mind like 2 or 3 or maybe even more Gnarlid Colonies. Very flexible card, good card. But we'll take the Arbor Mage. Okay, good cards for us here in blue again. Not much in green. I think Field Research is probably better than Silent Vision, given that it has kicker. It's something we could hit with our Chronicler. If we end up blue-green, we're going to really care about cards with kicker. Silent Vision is a modal land, which makes it better, but if we end up with a bunch of bubble snares or something, we might not like this very much. So, I think it's Field Research. Okay. I guess a second field research. So we got to start thinking about what else looks open. I mean, there's some decent green cards here. Not for us, not what we want to do, but they're both playable in certain situations. This is more of a black-green card. The Snarecaster can have roles if you're light on flyers, which in blue we might not be. I think a second field research is fine, but now we're going to have Skyclave Plunder and 2 field researches, which is a lot of draw. Maybe we just like the Snarecaster more, but I don't think so. Okay, third field research? I don't think so. I think it's going to be Skyclave Sentinel. It has Kicker. It's something we could play if we end up blue-green, or other decks caring about Kicker. The Chronicler can search it up. We're going to see what's wheeled in this next pack. I honestly have no idea what our second color should be. We saw a couple good green cards there, but they've dried up in the last few packs. Alright, so a bunch of red cards wheeled, but they all suck, just to be frank. The only blue card here that wheeled is the Cleric of Chill Depths, which also sucks. It doesn't really matter, we're stuck to blue, but we're not taking the Chill Depths Cleric. I guess it's the Brute. I mean, none of these other cards are good. We're probably most likely to play blue-green, but that's definitely not engraved in stone or anything. And now we'll take another wizard here in the Cascades here. So we're definitely blue, but going into this next pack, like unless something changes here, we're pretty open to what our next color is going to be. None of these cards we would play in basically any situation. We'll take the colorless card. Shell Shield has Kicker. Might care about that. Put in the deck. So, I mean, we definitely want blue, but I have no idea what our other color is going to be. We've got a lot of draw spells here. Ooh, this pack is good. We're going to take Low Mage's Domination as just a really good removal spell. But we'd love a Royal Mage if this wheels. Field Research, I think we've got enough of them, but who knows, we might take it if it wheels. If we end up blue-black, we might like the Sky Dancer. I mean, green is probably looking okay. I think we want to stay away from red, like just based on what we saw in the previous pack. We probably want to stay away from white too. I think ideally we're blue-green with this deck. We'll see though. On that note, we could just snap up a Rabbit Bite here and commit to it. I mean, we've got so many cards with Kicker. This is a good removal spell. I think we just commit to it. These are our spells in a pile. Yeah, Rabbit Bite. We'll take it. And now we could take a Diviner, or we could take a Scythecat as a decent 3-drop. We've got a lot of 3-drops though. And I think we've got quite a few wizards going on. The Diviners are going to be good. We like 3/2 threats. We like the fact we can draw cards when they die. We could conceivably, since we're playing green, maybe splash Grakmaw, which is awesome. But I don't think we need to reach for it. Yeah, I think the Diviner is going to be better for us than the Skycat. Ooh, now there's a Relic Amulet, and we actually have quite a few wizards going on here. Whenever you play an instant sorcerer or wizard, it gets a charge counter. It could be very good removal in our deck. We'll definitely prioritize wizards a bit more. That's not going to be hard because they tend to have Kicker, which we really like. We've already got 2 Diviners. This is going to be sweet. Let's take the Amulet. The Baloth is a nice beater. The Duelist could be a nice trick for us. We're going to need to pick up some 2-drops here. The Amulet is basically a card you can play on turn 2, though, which helps. Okay, so still looking a little light on early plays here. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can take in that regard. Probably the Scythecat is better than the Stalker. We could be mostly wizards, which makes the stalkers cost a little less expensive. We also don't have any fixing our ramp yet. Maybe the stalker's just better than the Skype Cat. Yeah. Okay, Chilling Trap. If we're going to load up on wizards, we like Chilling Traps. Again, no early creatures we can pick at 2 or 1. But I think Chilling Trap's going to be very good for us. It does trigger the amulet. Hopefully draws us another card. Ooh, Lull Mage's Familiar. Super late. Alright, that's good. We probably don't play the Brute. I think we really wouldn't mind the Blightblade here either as just an early play, but I think we can focus on that in the last pack. I think it's got to be the Familiar. Alright. And then another Stalker, I guess, is the only card here we conceivably play. We're not splashing white at this rate. And a Nectar Pot. We'll definitely take the Nectar Pot. We've got 2 field research already. We need some early plays, and this will shore it up. It also gains you a little bit of life. I mean, it's not exciting, but it's something we could play early to keep from dying, which is definitely what we're interested in. I think 1 Shell Shield is definitely enough, but we'll put it in the sideboard. Okay, so we're definitely interested in solid early plays. Ooh, Ascetic, we could play that. We could use a big threat, and we don't have one yet. This gains life, which is nice. Okay, this is possibly the easiest pick I've ever seen. The Vine Gecko is going to be perfect for us. It lowers the cost of kicker. We have tons of that. It's a 2-drop, which we desperately need. We wouldn't mind Valakut Recovery. It's a very strong card. Chilling Trap could wheel. We'd probably like that. Even if it doesn't, we need 2 drops. The Survivor could wheel. We could just scoop that up out of desperation. But yeah, Vine Gecko is going to be so sweet for us. And another quality 2-drop we can play in the Gnarly Colony. It has kicker. We like it. We like it a lot. Okay, so the most desperate problem with this deck has now been taken care of. We've got some 2-drops we can play. So we're going to be able to take anything we want in these next couple of packs. Hopefully we see some juicy blue and green cards. Wow, another Relic Amulet, but I don't think that's the play. We've got 6 wizards here, but we're not necessarily likely to pick up more. I think we just want another solid 2-drop in the Gnarly Colony. Probably if we pick up enough quality 2-drops, we can cut things like the Nectar Pot, which probably aren't very good for us. This Relic Amulet might even wheel the way things have been going. Ooh, okay. A nice big threat we could play here in the Falconer. If we hadn't been diligent in scooping up 2-drops, we might have to take the Blightblade out of priority. But this is a wizard, we like wizards. It's a big threat, we like threats. And it's also a kicker payoff. So, sweet. Probably better than the wizard. I remember one player, when this set first came out, they posed a question, which of these 2 cards would you pick? And I think the consensus was the wizard, the Umar wizard, but I want the Falconer in this deck for sure. Okay, nothing here really that I want to play. I think we have a Cascade Seer. I'm probably not down for playing 2 of them, but take it. And a Blightblade. Sweet. We've got a Rabbit Bite, which goes well with it. I think it's better than the Nectar Pot. In blue-green, you're often a little light on removal. Maybe the Skyclave Sentinel is a card with kicker? We already have 1. We may not play 2, but the rest of these cards aren't making our deck. Jwari Disruption is not the best modal land, and we don't have any ways to bounce them that I'm aware of, so I don't think I want to take it over another Diviner here. We've already got Chilling Trap, Relic Amulet. The Diviners are better than the Cascade Seers. They're decent air threats. I think we want the Diviner. Not playing any of these. Tempest, bad. Cleric of Chill Depths, bad. Seafloor Stalker, okay, but we already have 2, I think. Yeah. Another Field Research, maybe. Alright. This looks like it's our deck. I think we got there. So let's just start by clearing out all these cards. I usually start with my creatures. It's just a good point. Good place to start. I'll put in everything I'm remotely considering here. Whoops, no Tempest. Okay, so that's too many. That only leaves us room for 4 non-creature spells, and we didn't pick up a single modal land, which is unusual. Okay. Right away, I think... I like these early plays. I think this is fine. We definitely don't want 3 Seafloor Stalkers. We probably only want 1, if any. Our wizard count is sitting at 9. We could probably cut a Cascade Seer. It's just not going to scry very much. I mean, if we're not playing wizards, we're not playing anything. We've got 2 rogues, 8 wizards, no clerics, and no warriors. So I'm not sure I even want to play one of them. That would still leave us with 7 wizards, which maybe is a little light. Let's put it back in. See what else we want to play here. So the domination, plunder. Again, we'll just put in everything we're remotely looking at. So, okay. Field Research, maybe 2. Rabbit Bite. The Amulet. Ooh, I forgot we have an Ascetic. Maybe we want that. So this is 1 too many cards. It's 17 lands, which seems about right. I think we cut the Seer here. 7 wizards. Is that enough? Maybe the Seer is better than double Skyclave Sentinel. Let's put it back in. We've got a Cleric now, a Rogue, and lots of wizards. Well, wizards doesn't make a difference, but it is a wizard, which we probably want in this deck. This would be 40 cards. I think we roll with this. I think 9 blue is about right. We've got a Low Mage's Domination here, which is triple blue. The Gnarly Colonies are double green to kick, but the Familiar can add green. This is blue to activate. This is double blue. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards with kicker, which actually isn't very much, but I think it's just enough. We'll get value from our Gecko. Yeah, let's roll with this. Alright, I'll see you in the first game. Okay, we are into game 1. I think this is a keep. We've got a couple creatures we can play. I actually cut Skyclave Plunder and put in another Field Research just because it keeps our curve down a little bit, and also we've got a lot of kicker payoffs, or at least a few. So I think it makes more sense than Skyclave Plunder. They essentially do the same thing. This might actually be better in some cases, so we'll keep this. The thing I will say is we didn't really pick up any Into the Royals. We didn't pick up any Bubble Snares, which are, as far as blue goes, the best interaction is the best removal. Tormenting Voice. Wow. That card sucks. In this set, anyways. Gecko. So he's blue-red. He probably wants the sorcery or instant to get some triggers, maybe off of his wizards. We'll see what he comes out with here. So I really love the Chronicler. It's in the kicker deck. It's one of the stronger cards. Like, it's just a great 2-for-1. And then when you kick, you get to loot, which is great. If the Vine Gecko dies here, that would kind of suck because we're a step closer to kicking all of these. Wind Rider Wizard. Okay, that's really strong, and it's something we'd love to have in our deck. Great Wizard. I wonder if he had traded with the Gecko. I'd probably be down for that. I doubt he does. Would I be down for that? I don't think so, actually. We might be able to kick something here on the following turn if we find one of our... We didn't. We found both Field Researchers. If we found a Gnarly Colony, I'd want to keep it, but I think now we want to trade. This Wind Rider Wizard is just so strong in the blue-red deck. He can start killing our creatures, loot indefinitely, and just rip us to pieces. Okay. Okay, so he could have something here with Flash. He could have a Duelist, he could have a Chilling Trap, but those aren't going to kill our creatures. I think we're just going to attack and then Field Research. I think he's deciding here which one he wants to kill with his 3-mana red removal spell. I'm thinking Molten Blast. Glacial Grasp, okay. And he gets to loot with the Wizard, which is strong, draw a card. This is why I'm worried about that card. But the nice thing is, the Gecko is going to stay on the field, so we could kick... We could Field Research here and then kick another one next turn if we want to. Wow, look at all the lands. That's pretty funny. Well, hopefully we draw non-lands. We're playing 17, we have 9 of them here. We could easily kick Field Research, discard some cards. Ow. If we do that, look at all the land. I think we have to. We just don't have anything else to do here. This will put a counter on the Gecko. We can also loot with the Chronicler, which is helpful. More land, okay. Alright. No attacks. Pitch a green and a blue. The Ascetic is a good block for the Hellion, which is nice. We put 3 land in our graveyard, which is sweet considering we flooded here. The Chronicler is better than the Wind Rider Wizard, I think, but they're both very good. Wind Rider Wizard is sick. Comes with both. We take it. So he could have a counterspell here. I think we play the Ascetic just to see what he has, if he has it. He doesn't, okay. And I don't think we attack. I don't think we want to be racing here. The thing is, if he has a removal spell and just comes in, then we'd be in trouble. But I'm thinking Tempest here, Living Tempest. I mean, he had 5 mana, didn't use any of it. So we're just going to pass. Okay. Chilling Trap, that's rough. He draws cards, more card advantage. Maybe he plays a creature here we can really nail with the Arbor Mage. That would be sweet. So we're going to do all that we can do here. Is this where he counters? Maybe I should have played this first, honestly, because this getting countered is going to be worse than the familiar, maybe. Although the familiar will allow us to draw some cards, but this Wind Rider Wizard is totally ripping us up. I mean, it's just looting nonstop. Negate, he had that as well? Wow, okay. He gets to scry. We just drew way too many lands and didn't have the options we want. But, we're not technically dead yet. Like, I'm not sure what we do if he comes in with the Hellion. Do we block with everything? Do we not block at all? I don't think I block at all, actually. Let's start dealing some damage here. Stormcaller, he gets to loot, copy a spell, and then double into the Royal, I'm guessing. Or double Royal Eruption, maybe. I mean, he's looting a lot, but he's discarding non-land cards a lot of the time here, so he's just got options for days. Copy into the Royal, copy Spellcraft, kill 2 of our creatures. Yeah, that'll do it. Loot some more. I mean, he's living the dream. Good for him. I mean, he played a turn 3 Wind Rider Wizard, and we didn't do anything about it. So, yeah, he's killing us here. But I will say at the same time, our draw was terrible. I mean, we could not have found more land. We had no options, and our options that we did have were pretty weak. So, what do we do now? We could kick the Arbor Mage, force him to block the Stormcaller. We'd get to loot, maybe find something. We wouldn't have a good block in the air, though. Maybe it's Diviner and then just Arbor Mage. It's tempting to kick the Arbor Mage. We could force him to block. It'd be so risky, though. But, I mean, he's got great cards in hand. He's discarding, basically, Shell Shield. We need a miracle here. We need to kick this and then hit something useful. That's not going to cut it. But now we don't have a block in the air, so that's game. Okay, we are into the next game. Hopefully, we get a bit of a better draw here. I mean, our opponent basically killed us with 2 cards because we just drew nothing but land and could do nothing about it. And I said that Wind Rider Wizard is strong. I mean, it's almost as good as the Chronicler. It's not as good, but it's easily a card that you just get ripped apart with because it provides so much card advantage. And if you do nothing about it, it just sits there with endless looting, finding whatever you need. And then it's also a 2/2 flyer, so it's dealing plenty of damage in the air in the meantime. So we'll see if we can get a good draw here, but our opponent is off to the races with a 3/1 Fireblade Charger. So we're going to be taking another hit here. I do like the idea of Chilling Trap this, bringing its power down to 0, and then killing it. But we might be dead before we can do anything like that. Thankfully, he does not play a creature. So we'll play the Stalker here, maybe trade with it. The following turn, we can Chronicler, hold up Chilling Trap, and then maybe pick it off. He's wondering, do I want to trade the Fireblade Charger without picking off something else? And he does not. Wow. Okay, so let's go with the Chronicler. We'll leave up a blue. Hopefully find something with Kicker, which we have lots of. There's a Colony. No attacks, enter. So now he's definitely going to swing. He wants to pick off both of these creatures, but hopefully Chilling Trap's going to totally shut him down. Electromancer adds 2 mana. Okay. And a Minotaur. Wow. How are we going to deal with this Minotaur? I guess we have a couple of big creatures in hand. We can take a pop from it. So we're going to lose probably our Chronicler here. I think... Or we could lose the Stalker. Maybe that's better. Because the Chronicler can still block the Electromancer. We can kick the Colony, loot away one of these islands on the following turn. That's probably what's best here. This Fireblade Charger is going to deal 0 damage when it dies too, which he's going to hate. Deal 0 damage to any target, bro. Ouch. Alright, and now we can play the Colony. Hopefully it's a good block for the Minotaur. Maybe we can stabilize with the Ascetic on the following turn. He's going to steal the Colony, which is worse. Now we have to chump the Minotaur. We're still going to be alive. And then hopefully drop our Ascetic. The Floor Heateron, he'd rather have his land. So what's in his hand then? Maybe Spellcraft. We've only got one play here. Next turn we could play a 4/5 Sentinel, which I would like. He could kick Royal Eruption and just end the game. Okay, we can still block that, which is good. We are alive, my friends! We are alive. We got a double block, but I'm liking our hand compared to his if we can stabilize here. And he doesn't do anything. Alright, another blocker in play. Snarecaster is not killing us anytime soon. I like that. I think this is where we field research. Maybe we find our Rabbit Bite. We could take out that Minotaur. Ooh. Now I think it's just Falconer. Honestly, I'm thinking maybe we start swinging here. If he kills one of our creatures, we've still got good blocks. Seeing he has nothing in hand, I think we start hitting him. We can even just field research to use our mana. That's probably the less greedy play, but I'm a very greedy person, so we are just going to pass. Now we'll click field research, see what we find. There's our Rabbit Bite and another field research. Nice. Let's see if we can get this Minotaur off the field. Nice. Now I think I'm down for even attacking with both of these. He could play removal spell, and then kill us, though. Let's not be greedy. Let's keep the better blocker back. Maybe we should be killing him as fast as we can, because if he finds a Royal Eruption, we're just dead. Alright, he scoops. Got there, barely. We actually had options this game. Atta boy, deck. Okay, we're into the next game. I think this hand is a marginal keep. We're definitely in danger of getting run over here, and we're on the draw. But I don't think we can mulligan this. We'd love a 2-drop here. That's good. And our opponent is very kind and doesn't do anything, which is going to give us time to build up some steam here. Maybe familiar, diviner, then kick field research, gain some life, draw some cards, maybe. Okay, Raptor, 2/2 flyer is definitely annoying. Familiar. If this doesn't get taken out, we can gain some life. And I'm not sure in green-white how he's going to... I guess he could exile it with a Journey to Oblivion, but it's pretty likely to stay on the field as long as we don't... He doesn't play a bigger creature or we don't attack or block with it. Prove me wrong. He's about to eliminate it. I'm not sure what it could be in green-white. Yeah, even if he had Journey to Oblivion, it's 5 mana without a party member in play. That's a problem. That's big. Okay, so we could play our Falconer here. It's a good block for the Raptor, but it's not a good block for the Baloth. I think there's no way we're going to have a good block for the Baloth. I doubt we would ever double block with the Familiar and the Cascades here, so I think we just use as much mana as we can here and play the Falconer. Landfall trigger, okay. Another strategy we may employ is just playing these Diviners and chumping the Baloth until he runs out of land. But there's Rabbit Bite, so much for that. And a Kitesail. Wow. Okay. So as long as he has land, we really can't block that very well. We're about to take 8 here from Bra. If these Diviners die, we won't get to draw a card, but we're more interested in just not dying here. We could even attack here. He can't block anything. Spare supplies allows him to draw a card. So he's got a green-white landfall thing going on here. More landfall, okay. And I don't think we can take a hit here. I think we have to block. Okay. We've got 7 mana we can use. We could play the Diviner and then just field research and hope he can't kill our Diviner or play a land. I mean, what else can we do? So, let's play the Diviner. He's definitely going to play a land. I find it hard to imagine with spare supplies that he won't find a land. But we're kind of, like, he's been beating us down really quickly here. What else are we going to do? I would much rather these field researchers were into the Royal or something. Like, I mean, 3 field researches is not that great. We got a chump. Or just die. Alright, good game. Alright, this hand looks good, but the way things are going, who knows? I feel like I've been playing all of these really solid decks lately and then just getting totally outdrawn by my opponent. I mean, we could easily duck out of this tournament at 1 win. Is this a 1-win deck? No. Squiddy, 3-2. All right, let's see if we hit something with kicker here. We sure have a lot of field researches. I'm sure we'll find one. There it is. I am not interested in trading our Chronicler for this squid, so we'll eat 3. Okay, I think we could attack. If he has practice tactics, it's not going to do anything. I think even if he took out our Sentinel, which we're going to play here, we would still let the squid through. The Duelist, okay, that will... Maybe he responds with practice tactics as well now? He just saves himself some damage. Okay. I'm very happy with his hand. This has been a reasonable mix of land and spells. Relic Amulet in the graveyard kind of sucks. I think we just kill the Duelist here. I mean, what could he have? Another Duelist? Practice Tactics would basically 2-for-1 him. I guess he could have Resolute Strike, but is he really going to kill my Sentinel with it? Dauntless Unity. Okay, it still trades. We go to 12, but I have a feeling he's just about out of steam here. We can stabilize with the Ascetic, swing for 2. Turbo, okay. And then nothing else. So if we use the Arbor Mage here, we could force the trade of those 2 creatures with the Ascetic. Or we could just Rabbit Bite the Squid and then swing with both, and I think that's better. We wouldn't be able to do anything else. We could just attack with the Ascetic if he wants to trade both, that's fine, and then play the Falconer. Yeah. So now the Squid could conceivably swing for 4 if he plays a land and then attacks with it. We would let it through. Deliberate, huh? So now we could Rabbit Bite the Celebrant, swing, swing, swing. He takes 11. We're not really in danger of dying. We could follow up with the Familiar. I think that's fine. When we do finally kick one of these spells, it's going to be glorious. Glorious Scry, glorious life gain. Oh no! Turn 7 Ruin Crab. So now we can force both to block the Ascetic. Swing in for 8. Should be enough. He'll lose both of his creatures. And the loot. Maybe I shouldn't have played a land there. I forgot about the loot from the Chronicler. Pressure point. Okay. That keeps him alive. Absolutely. So just 4 in the air then. Yeah, this is not a card you see once he gets a mythic, I'll tell you that. Another squid. Now we'll do this first, just in case he has something. And we'll hold the land so we can loot it. We are at 17 cards. So now it is just attack here. I think here I wouldn't mind those trading with those. And maybe here as well. Now the Ruin Crab can just block there. Let's do this. Glorious victory. Okay, we are into the next game. I love this hand. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about, deck. Hook us up. We've drawn Domination. I think it's the first time in the tournament. It's the 5th game. There's so many like 2-powered creatures with counters on them that are worth stealing with this. So it's a little expensive, especially if you can't reliably mill your opponent. But like if he plays a Clerics of Life Bond here, for example, puts a couple counters on it, we're gonna love stealing that thing if we survive that long. But I mean, Fearless Fledgling as well, or that. Jesus. Okay, this could be a quick game. We just have to survive until we can steal that thing. We need 1 more mana to do it. We can Familiar, play a land, steal it on the following turn. He's going to spread out the counters, it looks like here. That's usually what you want to do. Some players will just ramp it up, and I mean, if you have no answer for it, then you lose. Your win rate does not go up higher with any other card than the Luminarch Aspirant, according to 17 lands anyway. I mean, it's not even close. What makes it so good is that it's only 2 mana. And it's so powerful. I mean, you can play it early, you can play it late, doesn't matter, it's still a great card. It's a cleric, which, you know, a lot of decks care about creature types, party. Like, it's just so strong in so many ways. Let's see if I hope he kind of puts all the counters on the Aspirant. So we can steal it with the counters on it. He's making up his mind here. What does he want to do? Puts it on the links. Okay. He should attack you. There's nothing we could have except maybe a Duelist, which won't kill the Aspirant, so I would come in. Yeah. Okay, let's see if this Familiar lives. He's probably going to want to put a counter on the links. We could steal the links, but it's not as good as stealing the Aspirant, that's for sure. We could even do a pre-combat, start putting counters on it. If he's blue, he could potentially bounce it to his hand, but that's not something we're going to worry about. We just want to steal it. Turntimber Symbiosis, huh? Which is triple green, so maybe blue isn't his main color here. He's green-white. Alright, give me that stupid thing. We will also start spreading out the counters. Eox. I think it's Colony here will actually put counters on the Aspirant now. This is a 4-3 basically. The Colony can trade with that or this. You could play a land and tap something down. Maybe we put the counter on the Colony for a 5-5. No, I think we put it on the Familiar because that way we'll have two creatures that can potentially block and trade with either of these attackers. So we're just going to sit here for a moment. We could even Chilling Trap, but we don't have a wizard in play. But if he Rabbit Bites, for example, it would definitely be worth it. Do we want to use Chilling Trap? I don't think so, because if we do it on one, he can still Rabbit Bite with the other. And Outrider's going to push some damage here. But only one of them. We can still block the other one. Wow, he's got an Amarius Call as well. Man, if he plays like a way to bounce land, we could be in trouble here. We'll play the Diviner, put the counter on it. Or maybe, yeah, we'll definitely play the Diviner, put a counter on it, but we're also going to play this. No, then we only have one good block. We're going to sit here one more turn. If he plays a Stomper and let's say bounces the Symbiosis, bounces Amarius Call, that would be sweet. But he'd be very far away from casting the Symbiosis, and he'd still need another white for Amarius Call. Just another Outrider. Yeah, he couldn't push enough damage with it. I'm not crazy about playing cards like the Ox if you're going to run cards like this. I mean, these are party payoffs. You want this to be a party member so you can pump something big and actually push the damage. All he could do here is pump by one, so maybe he got a terrible draw, but he's also playing the Lynx, which leads me to believe he doesn't quite know what he's doing. But it looks like green and white are his main colors. And he's got something in hand. He's got some sort of effect. We aren't sure what it is yet. I think it's Diviner. Play it first. We definitely want to put a counter on this. Going to combat. I should have left the blue up there, actually, probably, but put a counter here. We'll swing with this wizard. If he has practice tactics, it won't be enough. Do we tap out here and risk it and play the Stalker? I would love to. We can use the Familiar for mana, so let's get the Stalker out as well. At this point, like, the Luminarch Aspirant still needs to be taken out, but I think we Chilling Trap here and draw a card. He's in so much trouble. I'm not sure what he has in hand, but we're going to Chilling Trap. Just not worth risking it. Stampede. That's why we did it. Alright, so this is a 2-6 still. I guess we could block there. We could double block here. We'd lose both. But we definitely have to block two of these three. So we're going to lose our Luminarch Aspirant here, but at least the Stalker stays alive. We go to 2. We get to draw a card. We do have the Royal Mage, which can get back Chilling Trap. I think this is the play. The other option is keep the Aspirant alive and chump here. Draw a card. Yeah, especially since we can get the Chilling Trap back, it's probably the right play. I mean, this is going to go down to a 3-3, which just isn't much of a threat. So we take 5. He's not playing red. He can't Royal Erupt us. He's not playing black. He can't Soft Consumption. And the thing is, if we double blocked here and only one would die, I would do it. But I think we're doing this. All right, we can Vine Gecko and Royal Mage, and then still have the mana for Chilling Trap with our Familiar. I think we have to take it over the Domination just to make sure he doesn't do something to us here. We'll put a counter on here to make it a good block. We'll swing. Yeah. Okay, let's kick field research and see what we find. It's only 5 mana. Do we go for lethal here? We could certainly attack with quite a bit. But he does have this 4-power defender. He does have a card in hand. Why risk it? I don't see how he can kill us. Put the counter, I guess, on the aspirant now. Or if we put it on the diviner, he'll be dead next turn. We could put it on the diviner, swing for 5 in the air, and then he's basically dead. Why take risks? We could even play the Chronicler. I guess he could be holding on to Inversion. If he gets the one more land, he could play it and just totally wreck us. Yeah. He's already got Certain Timber Symbiosis. He's got Emeria Shatter's Call, so... Okay, he had the Tempest. And the Cleric's going to gain him some life, but... We can make this Stalker unblockable. Is it enough to kill him? We put a counter on it. Yeah, it's enough to kill him. He's out of cards. Well, even Chilling Trap just to be safe here. He knows he's dead. Good game. Wow, stealing that aspirant was absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. I almost interrupted myself saying there's lots of good 2-power creatures to steal with counters on them as he played it. Maybe the best card in the whole set. Okay, good game. Okay, next game we have a keep. Light Blade. Ugh. Root Grazer. Chlorhedron. Okay. Allows him to ramp. It's kind of scary. Could be a Baloth coming down. No. That's a big break for us. He had nothing to do with his mana. Okay, Stalker. Let's get a creature onto the field. We could steal the Blightblade with Domination, which might be the play if he plays some giant ground threat. He's careful to leave up a plains. That's interesting. Because he wants to throw Zendikar on it. Can we steal that? Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost X. So I think we can steal it for 0 mana. What happens when this dies? Return that card to its owner's hand. The converted cost of this card, I believe, is 4. No, it's 0, I believe. So I think it's 0, right? Because it's not a token. It's not copying a copy of something. So I believe we could just steal it if we want to. I'm going to be careful here and not block the Blightblade, though. Because if we can't steal it, then it's worth stealing the Blightblade, like I said. If I confirm 0 and it doesn't work, I can still cancel, right? All right. He's like, how dare you? How dare you steal my land? We've actually got another mana source now too. That's sweet. We could tap it, kick field research. But I don't think that's the play. It's probably Falconer. Rabbit bite. Okay, there it goes. Gets his land back. That's the problem with the Zendikar, by the way, is it basically renders one of your land useless. Like, you need it for a creature. You can still tap it technically, but you want to attack with it or you want to block with it. So, do we just go with Diviner here? I think we use as much mana as possible. Falconer. I would love to get our Low Mage's domination back with the Royal Mage. That'd be so sweet. Another Rabbit Bite. Okay. I think this is a field research. We could just play the Diviner and pass the turn. We could field research and then... Yeah, you know, he's not really killing us. Let's just drop the Diviner. I'm tempted to try to find our 6th land, but I think this is the right play. He's really not threatening us with anything. Like, if we go land here, we can kick the Royal Mage and then kick the Sentinel on the following turn. Or we could field research, find a land, play it, field research again. Another Rabbit Bite. He attacks with the Florahedron? I mean, is there any way he would want this to die? I mean, there's no Revolt ability in this set. If he wants to use an ability, I'm fine with that. I just want to slow him down as much as possible, get cards out of his hand. I'm absolutely fine with him using something to kill my Stalker here. He even kicked the Mighty Marassa. That was kind of unnecessary, but okay. There's our land. So let's get Low Mage's domination back. I think we even swing in the air now. Steal some damage. He's got 4 in his grave, so we can't steal something absolutely massive, but we can steal a solid 3-drop. We can even steal this Blightblade if he plays a big threat and we need a blocker. I might even let the Blightblade through for that reason. Just in case. This time I think we want to keep a wizard, so let's just let it through. I think we're okay to kick this. Get our land count up for the domination. This time I will block. Okay, do we just kick field research again? Play the Blightblade? I think I'm fine with that. Let's get greedy here. Or even the amulet now. Kicks the colony, makes it a 4/4. That's something cheap with counters that we can steal. I mean, it does have trample, which makes it a bigger threat. He knows we have the domination. He could have been holding back a little bit. We could play the Chronicler. Oh, he's going to scoop. Okay, good game. After a rough start, we're starting to roll along, which is nice. We got an all blue hand here. I guess that's fine. I think our deck just needs one green source to really operate. Do we have anything that's double green? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Green, white again, and a Blightblade. He must have just drawn that, or else I would think he would have played it on the previous turn. We can do this. Following turn, Diviner. If we don't hit some land at that point, we can field research, or we can... Yeah. Okay. I don't think I want these to trade. I'm happy with the blocker. And then Falconer. Sweet. The Falconer could easily eat a Rabbit Bite from this Blightblade, but that might happen here with the Diviner. Visionary, okay, draws a card, that's strong. It's a little odd to me. Well, maybe not odd, but he's certainly keeping this Blightblade alive. Do we go with the Falconer here or the Ascetic? Maybe the Ascetic. It's a better play, better block for this Visionary. If it eats a Rabbit Bite, I think we like that more than the Falconer eating it. Captain. That's going to be big. 4/4. And another Blightblade. Okay. So I think we have to Falconer here and then hope it doesn't get taken down. We'll trade with the Captain if we can. If not, we've got a few turns to live. We could kick field research, hopefully find some answers. But it looks like the Captain could live here. Or sorry, the Falconer could live. Do we attack for 4? I think I'm fine with racing here. We're going to draw a bunch of cards. Let's offer the trade. I'd love to get this Captain off the field while we can. Kick field research. We've also got a Stalker, which can't be blocked. That's good. We'll take both of those. Take this first. Nice. So if we find a land, we can Arbor Mage and Rabbit Bite, which would be sweet. We want him to tap out when we use the Arbor Mage so that he has to block. Maybe here comes that rabbit bite. Yeah. Okay. And another visionary. Okay. So now we can actually, and we got that rabbit bite. We could rabbit bite this captain, force everything to block the the ascetic. We could kill 2 visionaries in a blight blade with our ascetic. That would leave him with a visionary and a blight blade on the field. We'd have a flyer and an arbor mage, something that can't be blocked. We'd still be at 54 life. Sorry, 19 life. I was looking at this. 5, 4, 54. We could also kill 2 blight blades and a visionary if we wanted to, but I think the visionaries deal more damage. We're more concerned about those. So, visionary, blight blade. I think we just drop the other diviner now and then attack with the stalker and our diviner. We'll make this unblockable. And if he trades with the diviner, we get to draw. Okay. Good game. That was nice. Very nice. Way to go, deck. Okay, we're into the next game. We are 5-2. I think this is a keep. We've got a lot of land here, but we can scry away some lands with the Cascades here. We've certainly got lots of ways to use the mana. Like if we draw field research, we can field research. We have a lot of field researches. So I think it's a keep. We definitely don't want to hit some land off the top here. We're only running, I believe, 17. So, which is low in this set. I mean, usually you have a couple modal lands you can fit in. No land. Very good. Like, modal lands just make it more sense to increase your land count slightly. It helps fight getting mana screwed. It helps fight getting mana flooded. The attack. Okay, Core Celebrant. Usually a little unusual to see that in green-white. But we're certainly not going to trade. We're a little low on removal in our blue-green deck, so I like having the Blight Blade to stop any sort of big green threat. We'll just casually pass the turn here. We can Diviner, and then Seer when we need to. Brute. Okay, now that we've hit 6 land, plus we have the Familiar, I think we actually want to Cascade Seer here first. I wouldn't mind it trading with the Brute, and we get to scry too, make sure we don't draw land. We can Amulet, followed by Diviner next turn, and then Chronicler on the turn after. That sounds pretty sweet. This is Zendikar again. This is not a good card. Look, he just paid 4 mana. For a creature that comes in tapped, it can't, even though it has haste, it can't attack. It can't block, it's tapped. It's just not a good card in as many senses of the word I can say. The only case I ever play this card is if I have a bunch of mono lands and can reliably bounce something with it, then I'm more interested in it. But most of the time, I'm just not interested at all. And a Banneret. Okay. Gains another life. Now, it does have reach, so we can't really attack into it. I think it's just a Chronicler. Field Research is probably better for us. We don't have a single instant or sorcery to get back yet. And then play another Diviner, more charges on the Amulet. We could definitely... Oh, he's going to kill the Amulet. Nice move. I was going to say, we could Field Research and then use the Amulet if we hit a land. So, we're definitely not stalling out here. We have more cards to draw, but we can't attack. And we get to loot our island, which is sweet. Do we keep that island to loot it again next turn? Yeah, I mean, why not? We're in no danger of attacking. Let's build up some card advantage. Or sorry, we're in no danger of dying. Visionary, okay. Now he tapped his only mana, his only land for mana, so we can attack now with the two Diviners. This is why I said this is not a good card, folks. But we'll draw first to see what we get. Yeah. Now I think we start playing land. We've got a ton of things to do here. We can even play the Gecko. If we do that, though, he's going to have some good attacks, but he won't have enough to pump his team with the Banneret. I think it's worth just getting it into play. We might take a couple of hits here, but we can still gain life when we kick spells. So I think we want the Gecko. It lowers the cost of all of these spells almost. At least these three. I mean, look at the board, and then we've got so much more in play than him. This deck is just kicking ass. If he hadn't killed our Amulet, this would be over by now, and we'd have like twice as many land and twice as many cards in hand as him. So, if I was him, these flyers would probably be the biggest threat. It's going to scale the heights, try to find some land. We've got a Blightblade here, so he can't really attack. Okay, is this where we just go for the win? Like, he's totally tapped out. We could Arbor Mage, force everything to block the Blightblade, kill the forest. We deal 3, 5, 11, 14, 16 damage to him. Plus, we'd still have the 2 flying threats. We could even play the Stalker, which can't be blocked. But that's if we don't attack with the Familiar. Still a good play. I guess we could lose a colony. Field Research, we got lots going on. You can get rid of Field Research. Is there any danger of us dying on the Crackback? No, he just doesn't have the mana. And everything he has is able to block that Blightblade. Always double check that. I've used Arbor Mage on like flyers before, and then they just can't block it. It makes no difference. I'm always careful now to check for that. Alright, he gets his forest back, which he might actually be somewhat happy with. But we'll kill this thing with reach. And who needs to kick the colony? Let's get it out there. Nectar Pot. Oh no, he can gain some life. Gains 2. Oh, he got 1 from the Celebrant. That's right. And the Cleric gains 1 more life. He can block flyers now. And he's just going to attack with everything. So we take 3, 4, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. I could have even blocked there, some of those. But let's just end this game. Okay, we are 6-2. We've got 1 crack at the boss here. This hand is very risky. Very risky. We are on the draw, so if he comes out quickly, we could be in huge trouble. I think we're gonna live or die by these field researches. We've got 3 of them in our deck. Which is definitely not optimal. I would prefer one of these was an Into the Royal or a Bubble Snare, but we're gonna live or die by the sword here. We're going with our field researchers. Let's go deck. Let's hope he doesn't play something. Pack Beast, okay. So it's going to be field research, it looks like, followed by Cascades here, followed by Ascetic. Please don't play anything. Please don't play anything. Please don't play anything. 1 toughness, 1 power creatures we can live with. That's fine. That's it. That's all we're gonna play, right? Okay. Field research. We're gonna have to actually discard here, but that's fine. Pitch a forest. We survived the early game relatively unscathed. This is still bad. We haven't affected the board at all, but neither is he really. He's really not doing much here to... I mean, Double Reclaim is a little scary. He could play something really big. He's hitting all of his land drops, but Cascades here is good for us. We want an island, we don't want a forest. So we could always steal his Blightblade just as a good blocker. Okay, he found his white. That's kind of scary. And an Ascetic. We got one of those. Really couldn't care less about his life total right now. We just want to survive. Shepherd of Heroes, okay. That's a big flyer. We got a big flyer too. I think we trade. So I think I'm okay with taking a hit from this Shepherd. We really want to get this amulet into play. So I think we drop it and then field research. Nice land. We haven't got... I think this is the first time we've drawn the amulet in the entire tournament. We might have gotten it into play for 1 game, but I don't recall. I think we got it into play, but the game was already over at the very end. And an ooze. Okay, that's scary. What does he put it on? The ooze. We could steal that ooze. That would be sweet. We're also getting close to the point where we can just steal the Shepherd here. It's 3 to steal this. What do we do if he swings next turn with everything? I think the play here is Falconer and then Rabbit Bite the Shepherd. We can start building up some counters on the amulet. My plan was to just ping the Blightblade, but I think the Shepherd's a bigger threat. Let's say he kills our Falconer and then swings with the ooze. We can steal the ooze the following turn. If he swings with the ooze and trades, I guess I could live with that too. If he comes in with just the ooze, we could... Wow, we could steal something else, then kill the ooze with the amulet. Do we just eat this now? We could play the diviner and then kill the ooze with the amulet. I think we just eat this. Yikes. That's horrible. Okay. Play a land. He doesn't have 8 in his grave. He wasn't even close, and he just reanimated 2 creatures. So, we could steal something. What's the cheapest to steal? The ooze. That would leave us enough to use the amulet and kill the ascetic, and then hopefully we just ride out the storm. The thing is, if we steal the ooze, it can't block. We could also amulet, or sorry, diviner. We'd have enough to amulet, but I don't think so. I think we gotta just steal this thing. Yeah. If he comes with everything, it might even be better to just chilling trap to survive until we can untap this ooze. Feed. So if we kill that block there, we take 5. If we... I mean, I really want to kill the shepherd, but I don't think we can. We got to kill this ascetic because it deals more damage. He's at 40 life. How did he get to 40 life? I guess a couple of Shepherd of Heroes triggers, right? I think we gotta kill the ascetic here. I'm worried about this big fire now that we're losing our shepherd, but we need to minimize the damage here. I think we've got to play like Weakened Diviner. It'll put a counter on the amulet and then kill the shepherd when he attacks with it. So I think we're just eating this again. Do we block this? This Blightblade has been getting in for a lot. But it's another wizard that we might really want for the diviner. He stopped it on our upkeep, I think. That's interesting. Alright, so hopefully we stabilize here. This has been a very close game. He goes for a red, so he's playing white, black, and red? What the? Oh, he wants the... Okay, that makes sense. Giant 6/7 cleric. But no fear, field research is here. We can double block this next turn, so I think we kill the Blight Blade, which has just been absolutely beating us down. And then kick field research and hope we can continue to ride out this storm. We would go to 1 here. I don't think he has any tricks or he would have used them. Like, we could double block this cleric, block the pack beast, and then if he comes with everything. I'm tempted to block with everything, but if he has a removal spell for either of these, we're going to get blown out regardless. So why lose three creatures instead of 2? That's big. It's a big problem. Sucks we hit a bunch of land with field research. Okay. Bounces some land. Okay. Gecko, then kick the colony and try to keep riding out this storm. He's at 35 life. It makes absolutely no sense to attack. Maybe he starts realizing that too, because he is doing some very good trades for us. All right, that'll put another counter on. I think we start attacking here. It's going to take forever to get him down. Another pack beast, okay. I think we just go with 1. We're gonna have to double block this, so let's not get too greedy. We do have ways to loot, so let's just hold this land. Alright, we're slowly getting there. There's lots of things you could draw that would kill us, though. Mammoth can be big. He's got to be holding land. I mean, if I had spells, I would use them to kill me. Something we can kick. Come on, deck. Well, that's better than nothing. Yeah. If he plays a land, we'll have to double block this as well. We're just going with 1 diviner. This is way too hairy. So this guy is 3 to pump. We need another land to pump it twice and use the amulet. So we're going to play one of these lands. There's his land. No. What? That's a busted card. Maul of the Skyclaves. Okay. We're going to have to start chumping here. We've got chumps to do that. We're running out of cards here, though. We'd love to get... I don't know what we'd like. Oh, it's got trample, so we're dead. Yeah, that's game. Alright, we got to 6 wins. I mean, we definitely kind of flooded here again. Well, we kept a risky hand, let's say. So, do I blame myself? Partly. But we certainly didn't get there. There's no way to stop the trample damage. It has trample, flying, and first strike. Better card than what we have in our deck. Alright, so anytime I get to 6 or 7 wins, I'm pretty happy. I mean, this deck wasn't perfect, but it was pretty strong. I mean, we got off to a really rough start, and then we kind of rolled off, I think, 5 straight wins, and then, you know, lost them all, the Skyclaves in that last hand. it was definitely marginal. Like, I don't like playing this many field researches necessarily. I mean, there were games where they were big for us, don't get me wrong, but when you draw them early, sometimes you just can't afford to take damage. And so, like, even the games we won, there was a lot of times where we had this in hand and that's all we could do, and we were just taking damage off of 2-drops and 3-drops. So I would have preferred Into the Royals, Bubble Snares, but still wasn't terrible. Low Mage's Domination was huge for us when we drew it. The Falconer was nice, top end threat. Chronicler was really good for us. Arbor Mage got us a win or two. Chilling Chat was nice. The Amulet, we only really got going once in that last game, and you saw the value it could have, but it just wasn't enough. So, yeah, I guess I was pretty happy with this deck. Thanks for watching. Take care.